Welcome into Let Me Put a List Together along with Brian Mitchell. I'm Mark Grody, and if our discussion right before we came on the air is any indication, there is a disclaimer that is needed. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of singing on this show. In fact, really, that's the research today, is to be able to sing, and we all know that I'm not great with lyrics, so this could be something. Yeah, because we're doing today, Brian Mitchell, we're doing the top 13 TV theme songs
of the
80s.
Yes.
We're gonna. It's always got to be 80s with you. So we're doing.
Well, no, because I mean, that just opens up a whole other thing, because you got the classic TV themes of like the 60s and 70s, where you got Addams Family, Brady Bunch, things of that nature, and then you have like the ones that are 80s, which are more, I guess, of our generation. Even though we probably watched all those in reruns, anyways, because reruns were life as we were growing up. So, but today we're gonna do the top 13 of the 1980s, or at least, you know, within the late 70s, late 80s. So give us a little bit of slack. The Choozometer picked out for today is going to be Hill Street Blues, Miami Vice, Mr. Belvedere, Golden Girls, The Greatest American Hero, Growing Pains, Dukes of Hazzard, Facts of Life, Different Strokes, Family Ties, Night Court, Seinfeld, and Cheers.
That sounds like a great list. I think, like, just off the top of my head, I'm sure that there are shows that the Sidometer left out, but we'll leave it up to people who are listening and all of that, and they can give your feedback. But hopefully we do the top 13 justice.
All right, Mark, you know what? Before we get started into this list, which is going to be hilarious, why don't we do some business? So let the people know all about Let Me Put a List Together.
Yeah, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever it is that you get your podcasts. We invite you to subscribe, to rate, and offer your feedback. We always appreciate it.
Absolutely. And don't forget, you know what? Mark just started his new sports podcast, and it is phenomenal. First episode is already out. It's called At Mark Rohde Sports, Chicago's super duper sports podcast, and it is all business in the front and party in the back. So,
my show is a mullet. Yes.
Yeah, he talks about Bears and talks about Cubs, Sox, all Chicago teams. So if you're interested in that, please check out Mark. Subscribe to that as well, because it's funny as hell. Great job, Mark.
Is it your week to start first?
Yes, I am going to start this week.
Okay, Brian,
and
fine.
This week...
Fine, Brian.
Did I sound violent when I said that?
I'm going to start this. As I said, Brian, would you like to start? I'm starting this week.
Yeah, because I'm tired of you starting. Golden Girls. Never really watched it. Had no interest in it. I don't know why I would want to watch like four elderly women. I don't know. It's just not something up my alley. I know that they're probably fun and they get in a lot of trouble and they're naughty. The theme song was pretty big. Thank You for Being a Friend. Actually written by Andrew Gold. And this song reached number 25 on the Billboard 100 in 1978, and then it was used as this theme song for the Golden Girls. It was actually covered by a lady named Cynthia Fee, who was sang the theme song for the NBC version.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
So it's you know what? When I used to DJ, I remember playing this at like family functions and weddings and things, and people would like get together and it would be like a sing along, which would be "Thank You for Being a Friend." I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting way. I mean, I would never have it at my wedding. In fact, Mark, you were at my wedding and we did not have this.
By the way, your lack of passion about number 13 is stunning right now. Can I just take over, please?
Please do, because I have nothing. Right. I have like nothing.
No, that's
about
okay.
It.
I've got a couple in this too that I will have the same answer, and I will defer to you.
Right.
But I have to tell you, like, so growing up, Golden Girls was popular in my house. My parents liked Golden Girls, and it seems like on the surface, you're like, oh yeah, what the hell is going to be interesting about four old ladies? It's actually a really good show. So I need to defend the honor of the writing of this show. It's actually really good comedy, and I probably never would have laid eyes on the show if it wasn't for my parents watching it, and there was less choice choice in those days, too, of like going into another room or having, complete commission over the television, which I did not. So I just want to say that it was actually legit funny. You would be surprised.
All right.
Blanche and Dorothy and all their wacky.
I love how you know them all, dude.
I do.
I love how you know their personalities.
Hey, stay out of Golden Girls business, man.
Yeah.
And thank you for being a friend, which you would never have at your wedding. Thank you for being a friend. Told you there'd be lots of singing on the song.
And the reason why I probably really don't care about this song is because Andrew Gold, the guy that wrote it, really just said, according to Wikipedia, it was just a little throwaway thing.
Okay, well, it's a good song. It's a good song and a good show. I defend the honor. However, I respect your decision to have it at number 13 because, like I said, it was just something that I grew up around, and it was good and it was funny. So, all right, number 13 is the Golden Girls. Yes. All right. So it is going. I think it's going to be my turn to defer to you on number 12 on our collective list because I am choosing Mr. Freaking Belvedere, which you were singing to me in my ear before we came on the air today. Let me just say here, I have 2 bullet points and I'm going to let you take over.
Right.
I like the gentle piano at the beginning. Yeah. It's very classy and lovely, and it kind of like you feel like it's going a different direction. And then it goes ragtime, and I don't like ragtime, and I think that guy's voice is funny and creepy, and I don't like it. So that's all I have to say about number 12, Mr. Belvedere.
Oh, no. Mr. Leon Redbone is...
Okay.
Oh, man, he's great. That ragtime is rocking.
Streaks on the china, never mattered before. Who cared when you drop kicked your jacket as you came through the door? No one glared, but sometimes things get turned around and no one spared.
The name of
ragtime is rocking.
That's
Those
right.
two are so go together.
Yeah. Ragtime is rocking. What are you talking about?
Ragtime can't rock. Ragtime ragtimes.
This is the name of the song is According to Our New Arrival, which is actually stated in the song lyrics. This is performed, as you said, by ragtime singer Leon Redbone and written by a very famous writing team of TV themes, Judy Hart Angelo and Gary Portnoy. They also wrote Cheers and Punky Brewster. What's interesting is you're going to start to see that a lot of the same people wrote, theme songs. I guess there was just like a stable of artists that, we need a theme song. Let's call up Gary, and he's gonna put one together for us.
They probably didn't even know his last name. It was like, I got a name written on this piece of paper. His name is Gary.
Call Gary for the theme song.
Call Gary. He'll take care of you.
So,
he did that song.
I love that song.
I'm down. Whatever Gary needs. Whatever Gary needs.
And as you said, the little like tinkling of the piano at the beginning, and then it goes right into the ragtime, and that's my favorite part of the whole song. And then it goes into his weird voice, so it's like I mean, it's like it's awesome. But I think what it is like, Mr. Belvedere was all English, uppity butler type, and then all of a sudden we're swinging it ragtime after that, making it a little ragtime rock, man.
The rich English love their ragtime.
I just like to walk around doing that,
Your version of it actually cracks me up. That when I listened to it in researching, it did not crack me up.
Well, now every time you hear it, or if like it's in the background because it's on reruns or on Nickelodeon or something weird like that, or Antenna TV, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I love this." I love that part.
Old Mitchell.
All right, so number 12.
That was
gonna
12,
be
buddy.
Mr. Belvedere.
What you got for number 11 there, kid?
All right, number 11 is going to be an instrumental, Hill Street Blues.
Ooh, okay.
Dispatch, we have 911. I'm Rocky Promise. See surplus store corner People's Drive, 124th Street.
program, a drama, Hill Street Blues, of course, based on, Chicago cops, written by Mike Post, who was famous for writing TV themes. He wrote a lot of famous ones, and these we know quite well. Now, this song, when you listen to it, it seems kind of like melancholy and a little bit sad, but kind of hopeful, and they show, when the guys are like rushing out of that garage, and they got the dispatcher talking over the song and they're taking off, that, and it's all cloudy and gray. It just looks raw. And I think that kind of just feels like the song, melancholy and kind of sad, but yet hopeful.
You just did Dieter. It's melancholy and sad, yet hopeful.
It's melancholy but sad. Your song makes me hopeful. Now, here's the tidbit to this. You can find this building that they're driving out of. It was an actual Chicago police station that Chicago police car was coming out of. It is on the near west side. It is now the University of Illinois by UIC. Their police station. But if you look at where the garage was, there's actually a door there. So I think they closed up the garage, made it more office or whatever. Where they launched out of at the beginning of the show is no longer there. And that is how the UIC area back in the early 80s used to look. It was a really rough area. I mean, people that would go to UIC, they would go to UIC, but definitely would be watching their backs in that area because it was rough. Now there's like all brand new buildings, and I actually bought a building over there and lived there for about 5 years.
Dude, you and I played catch one time at UIC. Do you remember that? Maybe we played wiffle ball. I don't remember.
Probably wiffle ball. No, it was right. That's where it was. It was right across the street from the baseball fields.
That's it.
There is the police station is right there. So
I wish you still lived in Chicago. I don't know what's so great about Minnesota.
It's called My Wife Works, and
that's right.
She's making money.
Breadwinner. I gotcha.
But anyways, check out University Village, the UIC police station on the near west side of Chicago. I do miss Chicago. I miss the food. That's about it. And maybe Grody.
You should. But you've missed the target on this one, man. I would have Hill Street Blues way higher. I think it's like a beautiful song, Hill Street Blues, Hill Street Blues, Hill Street Blues.
Is that what you do? Is when you're in the shower?
Yes.
Any of the instrumentals, you just
Hey, I get to make up the lyrics, so I'm not actually getting them wrong because there are none.
Yeah, you're making up
Brian,
your own lyrics. That's what they're singing, though, when he was writing. He was like, Hill Street Blues.
Yeah.
Hill Street Blues.
I love the show, first of all, so maybe you didn't like the show as much as I did. That could be. It was Thursday nights, and I remember it was like the wind down show because it was on at 9 o'clock after all of the really great sitcoms. It was like, all right, now let's dig in and get serious. And for me, it was like the last show of the night that I was allowed to watch. Like I had to go to bed usually after that. So I'd like put myself back in that spot, and that song just grabs my brain. And it also, and I think you kind of did indicate this, but the song fits perfectly with the realness of the show. Like that theme, that serious sound to it. You said hopeful. To me, it was, I guess I could buy that. I got a twinge of sad and real. Here's what's real is that it ain't pretty out on these streets out here in Chicago. So
there's Mark Grody giving you the real.
Yeah, that's right. There's the realness, and you got some real characters on that show that were befitting and, responsible for making that theme song feel really good. So I would have had it way higher, which I guess I'll accept it at number 11 and move on to number 10, unless there's anything else you had on.
No, I mean, it's just another one of those songs that has like a weird beginning at it that I took notice of. It's like,
takes a second to get going. You're right. It doesn't really kick in.
And it's like, and then all of a sudden it comes in. What's that? What's that synth going through that?
The band is late in that one. Yeah.
Anyways, all right. What are we on to now?
So we're on to 10, and this would be my choice. I can't do Mr. Belvedere again, right? I'm going to go with Growing Pains.
Okay.
Growing Pains and that adorable Kirk Cameron at number 10. The theme, I don't know if that was the name of the song, but it's Show Me That Smile. Da, 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 da. Show me that smile.
That smile.
Show me that smile.
Don't waste another minute on your crying. We're nowhere near the best is ready to begin. As long as we got each other, we got the world spinning right in our hands, baby, you and me.
it's a very wholesome. This is a very Christian sounding song, and which is befitting because Kirk Cameron became very Christian.
This is played at all evangelical churches right now. It's like could you all open up your hymnals to number 21? We're gonna
Show
sing.
me that smile.
We're gonna sing the Growing Pains song in honor of our dear Kirk Cameron.
Look at your neighbor now.
Neighbor.
Smile at them and
Why
sing
don't you
to
put
them.
your arm around your neighbor and let's sing this song together.
Sing this
Show
song.
me that smile.
Just look in each other's eyes. Look at each other's eyes. Brian, look at me. Show me that smile. Roll credits. Roll hilarious scenes, and then let's just get to Boner and Kirk Cameron. Here's the very Christian Growing Pains, except for the person named Boner.
Exactly.
And that was their little wink on the show. It's like, we're going to be a pretty wholesome show, but we're going to throw Boner in there too.
We're gonna just do a little bit of edge.
Yeah, just a little edge. But Show Me That Smile, written by Christians. So that's all I got on Growing Pains.
Okay, for the people that really want to know a little bit of history behind Growing Pains and not the excitement of Mark knowing Kirk Cameron and Boner as his only two characters of the show, it starred Alan Thicke, and Alan Thicke, you'll find out in a lot of these songs, was the songwriter, but it's not him. And what's weird is I actually thought it was him singing it, but it's not. It was neither written by him or sung by him. It was written by Steve Dorff. The most famous version of it was the second season on, sung by B.J. Thomas. Raindrop falling on my head.
Smile.
And the person that sang Show Me That Smile is Jennifer Warren, who sang Up Where We Belong with Joe Cocker, and also the duet I Had the Time of My Life. So yeah, she was behind the Show Me That Smile. That was Jennifer Warren. You know,
is she Christian though?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I mean, I'm sure they had Christian thoughts when they sang it.
Yeah.
So
Good
there's your Growing
education.
Pains. Yeah,
I like it, man. I like it. I appreciate the education. And as always, that's number 10. So here's the list so far. Golden Girls 13, Mr. Belvedere 12, 11 Hill Street Blues 10, Growing Pains. What you got for number 9, buddy?
I'm gonna go Seinfeld.
You do.
Fun and weird Seinfeld. The song is fun and weird, just like the show, created by John Wolfe. Now, I was reading some research on this. Noisy caught up with the guy that wrote it. His name's Jonathan Wolfe. Tried to figure out how he put this together. And of course, Wolfe used a bass slap synth, a synthesizer. And then he kind of mixed it with lip pops, tongue noises, and other organic human sounds to create what he said was the percolating rhythm of the New York groove, to play around Seinfeld and his dialogues. Because don't you remember at the beginning of, I think, the early Seinfelds, remember that he had like his stand-up thing that he would do? And
sure,
then,
of course.
Then they would stop and he'd be like...
Yeah, no, it went perfectly with it. That was the beauty of it.
It was fun, quirky little rhythm that had the New York groove in the Seinfeld essence. So very good, Mr. Wolfe. You've made a classic TV theme of the 80s. Mark, what is your feeling on Seinfeld?
Yeah, I agree with a lot. I mean, great bass line. I think you did a great job of covering the musical portion of it. It also started, I think, a more minimalist version of theme songs with sitcoms or any shows in general. Like, you watch a lot of shows, a lot of them, because we're so Netflixy, they have theme shows, but you skip them and you don't even know them. And a lot of them just say, let's not even do them anymore. And let's just get to the damn show. So I thought Seinfeld had something to do with that. I mean, of course, that goes against something like Friends, which had a classic theme song to it. But I thought Seinfeld was good at that. And it had that mischievous sound to it. And if this show was nothing else at all, these characters were about as mischievous as we've ever seen in their own subtle way. So I thought it went good with the character. And as you said, with the stand-up, like, something about it just sound perfect because they're just little tidbits of comedy, and it went very well with it. So
It's quirky. It's quirky.
It's quirky.
It's quirky.
Quirky is a great word when you don't have any other words to describe something. Yep.
Absolutely.
So
Just
there
say
it
it's
is.
quirky.
Yeah, it's quirky. 9 is Seinfeld. So you got 8, buddy.
I have 8? I thought
Wait.
No.
Yeah, Brian, I'm just going to let you do.
Just do the show, bitch. Just do the show.
Yeah, I got more important stuff. I got sports stuff, Brian. I just came from Hallis Hall and covering the Bears. All right, I don't have time
What
for
have
your
you
little
done?
list.
What have you done? Well,
what have you been
watched-
doing all day?
Yeah,
Well, other than be 5-10 minutes late to when I said we should do this podcast.
It's your turn.
Miami Vice. See, I had a feel. I knew it. You and I have some basic disagreements on television. So, yeah, I'm not doing that to get you back for what you did to Hill Street Blues, but just kind of getting the gauge here. I'll be honest with you, I did not watch Miami Vice growing up, probably because I had better things to do on a Friday night. But anyway, it was a very cool sounding song with the synthesizers.
I like when you say I like sympathizer.
Yeah, sympathizer. Suffering succotash. It was because there was a coolness to it, and if Miami Vice was all about the cool, the car, the dudes, the suits, the Miami-ness. However, I will say this before I pass the baton on to you, Mr. Mitchell. The song was written by something that sounds extremely uncool, by Jan Hammer, who when I watched the video, it was on something called Top of the Pops, which I know was a big British pop show. But I was like, Jan Hammer. Now the theme song is not even cool to me. Not only did I not watch the show, but Jan Hammer. I don't know, Mitchell. Sell it to me, buddy.
Miami Vice was an MTV cop show. That's what it was. It was about the style, the culture of mid-'80s in Miami. Crockett and Tubbs. It's linen. It's no socks. It's cops driving Lamborghinis. All right?
Right, yeah.
As you said, the song was written by Jan Hammer. It was
Jan
a Billboard.
Hammer.
Yeah, I know. You just want to keep. You want to keep on. Do not threaten me, Mr. Jan Hammer. It was a Billboard 100 hit, so I remember it being on the radio. Now, I've never done cocaine, but if I did, this would probably be the theme song for it. It sounds like cocaine. It's like all energy and man.
Yeah.
Get you in the mood for the show, especially with the slow motion edits and flying over the Atlantic Ocean or wherever that was, Gulf of Mexico. I don't know where the hell they were flying over. But love this song. And I had, in like 1985, I got my first boom box, okay? And that was where you could record off the radio. And this is like one of the first songs that I recorded off the radio. And of course, I probably recorded it several times because whenever you were recording off the radio, it was like, oh, here it is. And you'd miss the first 5 seconds of it
and that horrible second generation sound,
and then you'd just get the middle of it, and oh man, I couldn't do it. Or of course, the jock was talking up to the post, and he's like, here's my Jan Hammer Miami Vice team, man. It's like, shut up, I just want the whole song.
Give me a countdown. Give me a 3, 2, 1 here, please. I'd like to hit play and record.
No,
on my tape recorder.
I just thought it encompassed the 80s, the excess, Miami, the drug scene down in Miami. Just everything was super cool. Everything was, pastel colors and no socks.
For the record, I like the updated version of the show, which was called CSI Miami. I did like CSI Miami because it was a more real plot. Like I thought,
Mark, you are
who was
so,
the guy?
You
Horatio
are so,
Kane.
You are so
CSI Miami was awesome.
Come on, man. I'm glad it is, but there's
Horatio Kane.
I can't turn on to that.
All right,
because it's like your grandma's watching that. They're waiting for Matlock.
You know what I'm realizing about you? What? You're too cool for a lot of shows. You were too cool for Golden Girls. You're too cool for CSI Miami. I mean,
I don't know. You know what? Honestly,
Hill Street Blues.
Honestly, I've never seen a CSI Miami. I've never seen that.
There we go. Let's get down to what's real.
All right, we did.
Miami
Vice, yeah.
And that was mine. And you were disappointed. So you have a chance to redeem the list if you'd like to look at it that way.
All right, well, number 8, and I'm going to go with Cheers.
Don't like it, but go ahead.
You don't like it?
No, I think you should have had it higher.
Why?
Because it's a great freaking song.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. And they're all
Listen to it. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Isn't that, Brian? Isn't that what everybody wants?
No.
Making your way in the world today. Isn't there something very? Don't you put your hand on your chin and rub your chin and be like, yeah, man. Sometimes I want to. I'm trying to make my. Wouldn't you like to get away?
No.
Come on, these lyrics, man. Not only does it have a great subtle melody to it, but the lyrics are they just are so simple.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Come on into the bar. Let's smoke some pot. Let's really get blasted and forget about life. Yay. Sometimes you want to go where you're drunk and you puke. Yeah, I love the song. Anyways, this theme song written for Cheers, of course, by Gary Portnoy, the guy
there
that
he is
wrote
again.
the guy that wrote the Mr. Belvedere, right?
Yeah, Mr. Oh God, don't get back there.
Yeah, so written by both of them, Judy and Gary. I remember this song being on the radio too. It was like a longer version of it, and it hit the charts too. But I can't remember. No, it is a classic theme song. It's it's a sing along, and I'm sure that if you played this in a bar, everybody would be raising their glasses, and waving it back and forth, and let's hug and let's be friends.
It's like Piano Man. It has that.
Yeah,
same
exactly. It has the Piano Man feel. So it's all friendly and warm. Mark, I really need to know what you think of this.
Well, I think I gave you some of the thoughts right up front. The lyrics are great to it. I will say this in being in critical thinking on this theme song doesn't quite fit the show. Like the show is very silly, flirty, a lot of sexual innuendo. There is, the loathsome losers that sit at the bar. So I will say that this is one of those cases where you don't really feel the art mixed with the song, but it doesn't really matter. I will say that I had a little bit of bias because this is possibly been my favorite television show of all time. So that's my dramatic statement right there. Brian, that was dramatic what I just said.
We're talking about music quality. You're tying in the nostalgia to it.
Well, you tied in. You've never seen Golden Girls to your disliking of that song.
But that song's even worse. So I don't. The song's actually worse than even Mr. Gold, who wrote the song, said, "Hey, it was just a little throwaway thing."
So you don't like songs about being thankful for friends? Okay,
no,
that's
not
fine.
at all.
I see what
don't
kind of a friend you are.
No.
No wonder why you've never thanked me for anything.
I like cocaine songs. Okay?
I think what's going on is you like cocaine.
I think that's
and
what
if this whole episode has been a cry for help, come talk to me. I've had issues.
It's therapy. It's therapy. Thanks,
I'll
Mark.
send you a few 12 steps you can go to.
Okay. How many will that be then? That'll be what, 36 steps?
Yeah, exactly.
Steps? All
right. I got the drinking, I got the eating, I got the
Yeah, and I got the Coke. All right.
Right, and the Coke and your designer drug.
Hold it right there, Mark. We're going to take a break. You're listening to Let Me Put a List Together on the Podcast Entertainment Network.
Let Me Put a List Together is brought to you by...
Some guys go through life thinking, do I smell right now? So Harry's makes 3 levels of protection for the way you sweat. The light sweaters, the medium sweaters, and the heavy sweaters. Because we all deserve to go through life with our wings up. Introducing the range of deodorants from Harry's. Not the same.
Home. It looks a little different for everyone. For some, it's a rustic cabin. For others, a big city high-rise. And for others, it's renting a tiny studio that said it had laundry in the building, but the dryer's always broken. And don't get me started on the gym. That's not a gym, it's an elliptical machine and a boiler room. And let's not even discuss parking. But no matter where you call home, Geico makes it easy to bundle and save on renters and car insurance. Easier than getting your landlord to return your calls. You can't hide forever, Leonard.
And now, back to Let Me Put a List Together on the Podcast Entertainment Network.
All right, for number 6, I am going to go with Greatest American Hero.
Look at what's happened to me. I can't believe it myself. Suddenly I'm up on top of the world. It should have been somebody else. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a
on this song other than to say it's the only show where I like the theme song better than I'd like the show.
Yeah.
I can quote the theme song. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so. So it's a great song. You talk about hopeful and over, like you just feel like that's an inspiring sounding song. Believe it or not, and plus, there's the build up to it.
Yeah.
It's like I can do it, and then there you're doing it. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. It takes you through the whole therapy session, and then it tells you, yes, you can do it. You could be this freak of a greatest American hero and still be liked and loved. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about the show. I remember watching it and being very not interested in Greatest American Hero, but a terrific song for sure.
Well, I'm looking at the cover of like the single or the album, and it says the theme from the smash ABC television series, Greatest American Hero. Anyways, it was sung by Joe Scarberry, who this song was on the radio. Billboard 100. It was in the top 40. And it peaked at number 2. Do you believe that? That's how popular the song was.
Actually, I do believe that because, like I said, I think, it's a terrific song.
Yeah,
Bears.
1981, Bears. 1981, it was on the charts in summer of 81. Yeah, the show, as you said, I think the theme song was more popular than the smash show American Hero. But
it was out for, 2 years?
A couple years. And I think that, he was a teacher, and then he found this suit, and it didn't have the instructions on how to use the suit, so he didn't know how to fly, and he didn't know how to utilize the suit, and he had that agent.
He didn't know how to fly?
No, he didn't know how to fly.
Oh, my God.
You don't remember this? Anyways, Robert Culp was like an agent or something, and he was always trying to get this guy to put on the suit so he could go and get bad guys. Hey, let's go get the bad guys, all right? Hey, put on a suit and get out there. And the guy's like always saying, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put it on. And he was like forced to be a hero. So written by Mike Post, who also wrote Hill Street Blues. And this is sung, as I said, by Joey Scarberry.
Joey Scarberry.
Hey,
Hello
Joey
there.
Scarberry, how you doing? So, yes, I totally agree. The song is better than the show.
Wow, we finally agree. I feel like we've had a real tough time coming to agreement on the show, so I feel good about us right now.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us.
Yep, we're doing it.
All right, ruin it now, man. Take our
good.
top 5 and piss me off.
Okay,
Go ahead.
good. Here we go. Number 5 is going to be Facts of Life. Now, before you got on the podcast, you were telling me that this is the one that's been stuck in your head since we came up with this topic, right?
Yeah. No, it's true. Because I started thinking about it earlier this week, and I don't know why, but no, I do know why. It's a great, lovely. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them all, and there you have the facts of life.
Wow.
But it's been going right through my head. Yep.
Do you when you're at the station or something? Do you just start quoting different theme songs for their knowledge?
Sometimes I just quote stuff.
Hey, listen. You listen, for the Bears, you take the good, you take the bad. You take them both, and there you have Chicago Bears.
I prefer to quote Mrs. Garrett or Tootie or Natalie.
I just like
as
hearing
Blair would say, huh.
I just like hearing you say Tootie.
Tootie. Oh, yeah. Tootie with the braces. Yeah.
And the roller skates, yeah.
And the roller skates and something else, too. But
written by Alan Thicke, of course, the dad from Growing Pains.
Yep.
Sung by his wife, Gloria Loring. And Mr. Alan Thicke and Miss Gloria Loring had a child, and his name is Robin Thicke.
Robin Thicke, who wrote some very, very provocative songs, Brian.
Yes, that's right. Should we name those?
Of course. Go ahead.
What is the song?
Yeah, I'm trying to think in my head, too.
I don't know why I have Sexy back in my head, and it's not that song. It's Blurred Lines.
Blurred Lines. One of the
Blurred Lines.
It was such a great song. It was on so much. It was on so much.
And then after everybody loved it, then they all went back and said, "Oh my gosh, that's a Marvin Gaye song," and those lyrics are lyrics are really rapey. And then it was like, okay,
and it was stolen.
Yeah, we're like, wait, we don't like this song anymore.
And then Alan Thicke died. So
and then
everything came together at once. Yep.
He died playing hockey. which is just a horrible way to go.
Did he have a heart attack?
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Jeez.
Anyways, Facts of Life, of course, about a group of boarding school girls with Mrs. Garrett as their house mother, I guess you would say.
Oh, girls!
And like you said, it's very sing-songy, the back and forth. It sticks in your head. It's a cheerful kind of song. And of course, I'm Team Blair, by the way, even though I love brunettes. Just something about Blair. I don't know if it's the attitude. I don't know if it's the confidence. I don't know, but she just brought it. And of course, it's totally opposite of what Lisa Whelchel really is. She's extremely conservative.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's acted since this show. So
Right. I think she's turned stuff down because it was too filthy.
Too racy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Hey,
She didn't get that
respect to
Little
her.
House. Yeah,
Respect to her. She didn't get that Little House in the Prairie spin-off that she wanted.
She wanted to be on Growing Pains. That's where the Christians are.
They are, dude. They're on Growing Pains. By the way, I am a Christian. Please don't hate on. We're not hating on Christian. I am a Christian, so don't. We're just having a little fun. Anyways,
yes.
Go ahead, Mark. So that is Facts of Life.
And I'm not the devil. I am Christian
You are.
as well.
You are
It
Satan.
doesn't mean we can't have fun with it. I would say, by the way, you're right about Blair. I mean, she was the hot blonde on the show. But here, dirty little secret, though. It was Joe when she stopped being like the tomboy every once in a while.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
She let her hair down.
Yeah.
And Nancy McKeon, I think her name
Nancy
was.
McKeon, yep.
Like, she kind of became a babe. I don't
know. I couldn't get past the accent, This is like from Brooklyn or wherever she was from. I couldn't get over that.
And
It just-
they uglied her up, but when they let her sort of do her hair and stuff and put on like a lovely dress, like it was like, ooh, Joe, I'm taking a new look at you.
And then, of course, as they just all got older, they all got like really cute. So I mean, everybody did. They started when they got into that mid 80s period where they had like a store in the place and like George Clooney was the repair guy or something. I have no idea what was going on there, and they had like a kid living there. I don't know who the kid was.
Arnold was on, wasn't like Conrad Bain or Mr. Drummond? Wasn't there some crossover?
Yeah, there was that.
Was.
Yeah, it was a spinoff of Different Strokes because Leland was, I think, the school that Kimberly went to, and that's how the spinoff. And then, do you remember the early Facts of Life in the late 70s? They had like 9 girls on the show, and then they brought it all the way down to like only 4, and they got rid of all the other girls. And Molly Ringwald was one of those girls.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go look it up, man. Look it up.
I actually think there was also more than one. Oh, there was. There was more than one theme song. It was the same theme song, but check me out here. Charlotte Ray, Mrs. Garrett, sang the theme. So there's a version where she sang it, and I assume it was like the early version
ones,
that you were talking about.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, it blew me away. And I'm like, and she sang it in her annoying voice.
Yeah. Take the good, take the bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was bad. And I could see why they refined it.
Yeah.
So I think that's enough on Facts of Life.
Please, let's move on.
Great talk. I am going to go with at number 4, Dukes of Hazzard. I'm not a big country fan, but this is, and it's a country song, man. And it's one of the greatest country songs ever. If you like to sing along with me, Brian, please do.
No.
Just a good old boys, never meaning no harm.
Yeah.
It's a day they were born.
I like it. And you know what's funny is there's probably 100 people out there that are singing the exact same lyrics that you are because no one knows that middle part. I think it's Trouble with the Law Since the Day They Were Born. I know that part, but I'm like, what is he singing?
Now, let me tell you about those old Duke boys. They're getting a little bit of trouble this week, Uncle Jesse. I don't have much more about the song. I mean, it was, like I said, it was a great country song. It was a show, little sidebar, it was a show that my mom, a P1 listener, by the way, she's probably listening right now. God bless her. Mom of the 5-time Mom of the Year. My mom, Jean, did not allow us, on her watch anyway, to observe this show, Dukes of Hazzard.
And when was the only time you could watch it? Was
when we had babysitters.
Exactly.
And we would somehow scam the babysitter into letting us watch it. Or maybe the babysitter just wanted to be cool to me and my brothers. Right now my mom's correcting my grammar. My brothers and I. So it was, there was something that was even extra special about hearing that theme song and then watching the show with them Duke boys. Yes.
Yeah. 1980, that song reached number 1 on the country chart and then peaked at 21 on the Hot Billboard 100. So it crossed over. Good Old Boys, written by Waylon Jennings, the great Waylon Jennings. He was also
good old boy.
He was also credited as the balladeer and served as the narrator of the show. So
what's a balladeer, Brian?
I don't know. The guy that sings the song at the beginning? I don't know. If
Why
he's
did you
singing
use a
ballad.
word you don't even know the name of?
I don't know. I'm reading Wikipedia right now.
Okay. Ooh, Brian's dirty little secret reveal.
Hey, as long as I give credit, I can do whatever I want.
That's true.
So, yeah. So not only that, but at the beginning of the theme song, you see like his guitar and him playing the guitar.
Yeah.
I've seen this a lot of times, so I remember that. Mark, you probably don't. And to upset your mother, I actually had a Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox, and I went as Bo Luke for Halloween with my Ben Cooper costume with the rubber band on the back, plastic front.
So your mom was just letting you do anything, huh?
That's right.
Were you doing cocaine then, too?
Yeah,
Is
we
that
were.
where all this cocaine talk came from?
Yeah, with Miami Vice.
And?
I would play Miami Vice, do cocaine, and then put on the Bo Ben Cooper Halloween costume. That was the guy that I always played if we played Dukes of Hazzard.
The blonde, right?
I was the blonde guy, yeah.
Okay, Bo. Yeah, that's you,
I was
man.
A Bo, yeah. I was
Right,
the Bo guy.
right. You were a Bo, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably more of a Luke.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I'm a little toned down.
You're probably more of a cooter. The guy that was
damn.
No, that's
Roscoe.
That's Roscoe. Cooter was the mechanic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right now I'm Boss Hog, so I'm more
Yeah.
of Boss
Yeah.
Hog. If I shave my head,
Don't we all really want to be Uncle Jesse? Just out there spitting out wiseisms.
Yeah, just old and gray. You guys need to listen. Yeah, exactly.
Jesse knew everything. Like he's just like kind of winking at the camera.
Yep. So that is 4 Dukes of Hazzard. So now I am on to number 3.
Top 3.
Top 3, and I'm going to say Different Strokes.
To the World.
Again, written by our good friend Alan Thicke. Come on, Mike. From Growing Pains.
Hey, Dad, can we go to church?
No, come on, Mike. This is a show.
Your son's out of control.
Come on, Mike. What are you doing, Mike? Anyways, written by Alan Thicke. The song is called It Takes Different Strokes. Surprising. That is the theme of the song because it takes different strokes to move the world. In this song, I always felt that Mr. Thicke was always trying to push a little bit of soul because of the whole idea of the show. Because
black and white.
Yeah, black and white. And I felt that they just wouldn't let him go there because they didn't want to go too far in the soulful range because, too much R&B for
Don't
American
want to scare
television.
white people. Yeah.
In the late 70s, early 80s. So I don't think he was really allowed to get loose. I mean, I really think so because he wanted to let it go, So, but
yeah,
good old Alan.
I thought he let it go right at the the best part. So the world don't move to the
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum.
There you go.
You got the different strokes.
Is born.
A man is born.
You're right, because those are the parts where it does get soulful.
Yeah.
And then you're right. Then they tone it down and they make it smiley and cheerful. And
then, of course, they get all Jefferson-y on the "And together we'll be fine."
yes.
And together we'll be fine. 'Cause it takes different strokes to move the world. Yes, it does. It takes different strokes to move the world.
Suddenly got a piece of the top.
Yeah.
That's the wrong lyric.
I know.
Finally got a piece of the pie, Mark.
Thank you.
Lyric.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. The Jefferson should probably be on this. Well, no, that was 270s.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
270s. Yeah. But great song.
But no, it's a wonderful song. You're right. It's one of those that, like, I even today when we have the power to do it, I probably wouldn't skip this theme song. I'd be like, I need a little bit of different strokes.
I need a little bit of soulful Alan Thicke.
Yeah. Is that actually Alan Thicke singing that song?
Yes, written and sung by him. Yeah.
That blows me. You know what that's like? You know what the comp is when we discover these things? It's like John Tesh, who did the NBC theme song for the NBA on Channel 5 all those years. And then it just blew me away because I always thought John Tesh was kind of a big dork. But then I was like, oh, he did that song?
Yeah.
Okay, now he's cool, even though his concerts are ridiculous. Oh, Different Strokes. So that's Different Strokes. I am going to go with number 2, Family Ties. because the number one on our list, I know you are much more passionate about. So I just took a hit.
Oh man,
for you, buddy. But I love Family Ties. I really like. This is
whenever I think of you in Family Ties, I think sha la la la. Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog. That's what I think of.
What would we do, baby, without us? Sha-la-la-la.
Tell me about your Family Ties feelings.
All right. Well, so the song, obviously just brilliant. The blank portrait at the beginning, the finish oil painting at the end. How could you go wrong with a show that has Skippy Handelman on it and the budding superstar Michael J. Fox and Tina Yothers, and then the hot sister, of course. So it is just it's a brilliant show. I will say this about the theme song: it was kind of like the quintessential theme song of the 80s, like this wholesome
soft
sounding,
and friendly.
yeah, like and everything. Like at the ends of these shows, unlike today, they always turn out great at the end. You know what I mean? Like you know where it's going. You know there's going to be a little conflict, but then you know there's going to be a family hug at the end. So the theme song sort of is befitting of the whole thing. You have the blank slate of the outlines of the characters on the canvas at the beginning, then they work through it all, and then you have the completed project at the end. Absolutely. It's imperfect. They're imperfect. Yeah. They really are, but it turns out well in the end. So theme song and show go together very well here for Family Ties.
It's totally a sha-la-la-la.
Yeah, it is.
Jeff Berry and Tom Scott wrote the song. Season 2 on was sung by the famous Johnny Mathis, who you probably know a lot of more of his Christmas songs that are played every time during Christmas. But he had a song called Chances Are, which was really famous, Misty, all those. They're very popular, probably in the 50s, I'm thinking. And, of course, Denise Williams was the female voice, and you know her from Let's Hear It for the Boy from the Footloose soundtrack.
Oh.
And I have to agree with a lot of things you're saying. Very smooth, soft, cuddly, like a blanket.
Sha-la-la-la.
Sha-la-la-la.
Didn't that? Yeah, you're right about. I'm glad you started with sha-la-la-la. And that's because it's like a little hug, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is.
a hug
it's very
from
nice.
hand.
Yeah, it's like it's family. It's warm. It's cuddly, like a blanket, and you just settle in to be entertained by Michael J. Fox, aka Alex P. Keaton, and crush on Mallory, and then laugh at Nick.
Mallory, yeah. Oh God, we all love Mallory, right? That's correct. I've never really thought this.
No,
okay,
that's not even in discussion right now.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page.
Crushed on Mallory.
Everybody loved Mallory.
Yeah,
period.
and then don't forget Nick.
Oh yeah, Nick.
Hey, Mr. Keaton.
Mr. Keaton.
Hey, Mr. Keaton. He's like a really bad like Sylvester Stallone. Is that what he was trying to do?
I don't know, but he was like super nice. Like he was the nicest character on the. But he had an earring, like a big cross earring, and big hair, and he wore boots, so he was a danger to the
and his career was
garbage collector.
Garbage
art, right?
That's right.
And then you have the conservative Michael J. Fox in there,
which he really just didn't.
Alex, excuse me.
Good old Alex. So, Family Ties. Great song, soft, cuddly, like a blanket. Very
sha-la-la-la. What's number one, buddy?
Oh, well, why don't we do a recap? Do you have them written down?
I
no?
do. I do.
I'll
do my best. Golden Girls is 13. Mr. Belvedere 12. 11 Hill Street Blues. 10 Growing Pains. 9 Seinfeld. 8 Miami Vice. 7 Cheers somehow. 6 was Facts of Life. 5 Greatest American Hero. 4 The Dukes of Hazzard. 3 Different Strokes. 2 Family Ties.
Before we get to number one, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Let Me Put a List Together on the Podcast Entertainment Network.
Get in touch with the show through email at lists@podcastentertainment.com.
Crest gum and sensitivity turns your ocean to
You like your drinks nice and cold, but the sensitive teeth thing is getting old. Time to say goodbye to the pain, because having sensitive teeth is just so lame.
Crest gum and sensitivity turns your ocean to
80% of sensitivity starts at the gum line. Treat it at the source with Crest Gum and Sensitivity. Crest. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to Let Me Put a List Together on the Podcast Entertainment Network.
And number one is probably one of the coolest songs of the 80s, coolest theme songs of the 1980s, and that would be Night Court.
Nice.
It's all about the slap bass. Written by Jack Elliott, has Ernie Watts on saxophone, also features tons of footage, of just New York at night, and it just all kind of blends in together. Funky and dirty at first, and then, of course, the saxophone gets all kind of happy at the end when it starts showing all the characters, Everybody's like, hey, Marky Post, and then you're seeing Bull and everything.
That was good. Hey, how about the wood blocks? The wood blocks.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. The wood. Yeah, exactly. So,
hey, there's Mac.
Hey, there's Bull. That's what it's just a really cool song. Like I would play that. That it's like jazz influenced. It's funky. I dig it, and it's one of my favorite theme songs of all time. How about you?
Yeah, it definitely. Everything you said, spot on. The use of, I would say that Night Court and Seinfeld, best use of bass on this particular list here today. And I will also say this, that I would say, while remember I said that the Cheers song doesn't associate well with what actually goes on the show. In this case, Night Court, that vibe goes perfectly, because the song is just kind of all over the place, and it's a hipster thing, because it's like a hipster court where like funny shit happens and anything goes, and the judge is like this totally absent-minded, funny, goofy, eclectic guy, and all the characters are too. So I think that not only is it a brilliant song, but the song goes well with the content of Night Court.
Absolutely. All right. So our number one is Night Court. So very excited that we got through this list without any issues.
Oh, no, we had issues.
Oh, well, you had issues.
Don't act like it was all perfect here.
It was wonderful.
Right.
It was wonderful.
Wait till you hear my list, and then we'll decide how perfect it was.
Okay, well, you go ahead and you do your list.
All right, 13, Mr. Belvedere. Can I get a little, please? All right, number 12, Christian, Growing Pains. Number 11, this is where you're going to be angry, Miami Vice.
Miami.
Number 10, Miami, Golden Girls. Number 9, Greatest American Hero. Number 8, The Dukes of Hazzard. Oh, them damn Dukes! Number 7, Number 7, Seinfeld.
Nice.
Number 6, the one that we just did. Our collective number 1 was Night Court. I had Night Court at number 6. Family Ties, number 5 on my list. Number 4, So the World Don't Move. Different Strokes. Number 3, Facts of Life. Number 2, Beale Street Blues. And number 1, Cheers.
Okay, mine is probably the exact opposite of yours.
I'm looking forward.
Number 13, Golden Girls.
What?
Number 12,
No,
Mr. Belvedere. Number 11, Hill Street Blues. Number 10, Seinfeld. Number 9, Cheers. Number 8, Dukes of Hazzard. Number 7, Greatest American Hero. Number 6, Facts of Life. Number 5, Growing Pains. Number 4, Family Ties. Number 3, Different Strokes. Number 2, Night Court. And number 1, Cocaine on TV. And on the radio, Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Miami. Wow. Okay, we had some people that I actually posted this on our Facebook page.
Oh, well, great.
Hey, thanks, Brian.
Real good, Brian. Real good. That's good
way
thinking.
to think ahead.
Yeah. Social media, that's a thing now,
That's a thing now, yes. Matt, cheers, Mr. Belvedere, Dukes of Hazzard, and Family Ties. Wow, he's our entire list. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Ronald said Fall Guy. Do you remember Fall Guy? That was
Lee Majors, right?
I'm the unknown stunt man that makes you look so fly, whatever, yeah. Perfect Strangers. Do you remember with Balky? And,
of course I remember the show. I don't remember the theme song. Do you?
And then and nothing's gonna stop me now.
This is a terrible edition.
Thank you very
sorry. Awful.
John said, cheers, Greatest American Hero, Bosom Buddies, which was actually sung by, or was
sung by Alan Thicke, I'm sure.
No. It was a song by Billy Joel. My Life. I don't care what's said. And A-Team. Greatest American Hero. Growing Pains and Mr. Belvedere by Christy. Of course, she loves that because we're very dear friends and we sing. Denise said Dallas, the Dallas theme song. I just like you doing Diz. That's my favorite.
Dallas.
There it is again. Just putting the name of the show in the song.
Dallas, J.R. and Bobby. What are you doing there, Bobby? We got a little problem.
And then
Bobby.
Dukes of Hazzard by John. Knight Rider. Exactly.
David
All right.
Hasselhoff.
So we did that, and
we did that. We did that. Yep, we did that.
Oh man, I think that's enough for today. That's going to wrap it up.
Can I do a quick sidebar on this episode of our podcast? And it is because of the death of one of the great comedians of all time, a guy that you and I have loved for and talked about, I feel like, ahead of our time at times. But the sad fact is, by the way, you could add some of that if you Norm Macdonald died, which just blew my mind because he was one of those guys who I didn't even realize he was old, didn't realize he was dying, and he wasn't old because he was 60-something, but the guy had been suffering from dealing with cancer for the last 10 years. So just a sad day for those of us who appreciate comedians, and I thought that he was one of the most brilliant of all time. Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, I think you either get him or you don't. Yeah. And when I was talking on Facebook about him, after we you sent that text to me and said that, and I was actually like, wait, is this a hoax? Because you haven't heard anything about Norm Macdonald being ill. I know he wouldn't kill himself because he's that's just not his. That's not Norm Macdonald's style. Not saying that he couldn't be hiding something, but it was just totally crazy, and it just totally ruined the day for me because a lot of people, if you had a hard time following, as I said in Facebook, that was the point. He was hard to follow, and that's what made him so funny, because he was genius, next level, out of bounds, comedian, risk taker. And what was great about his jokes is that you just got on the ride and just followed it all the way into the punchline. And it was funny all the way. It's like he's bringing you this way. Then all of a sudden he starts to turn left. Then he turns right. Then he goes this way. And then all of a sudden you run into the punchline. It's like, oh, dude, that is so damn funny. How does he think of that? Right. And I loved his YouTube. He had a podcast on YouTube. He did that thing on Netflix. And, of course, Burt Reynolds on Celebrity Jeopardy, Turd Ferguson. I mean, it's great. Classic. It's history. I had a friend, my friend Mia, who listens to this podcast, posted something that was so funny. She's like, he even made the gum chewing that he did was funny. Even his gum chewing as Burt Reynolds made it funny. So
well, and I had somebody say something, and they were spot on with it. I'd never really thought about it, but apparently, like, Hollywood could never quite figure out the right place for Norm Macdonald. So, like, there was that theme. Letterman loved him. He was part of Worldwide Pants, which produced the show Norm, but I don't remember one single episode of that. He was in a couple of movies here and there. We know he was on SNL and eventually got fired from SNL for making too many O.J. Simpson jokes because they told him to stop it. But, like, when you think of, okay, what is he most known for? He's just, his jokes are just, like, stand up for themselves. Like, obviously SNL.
It's just him as a personality.
Yeah,
like,
and you got to work a little to find it because there's not, like, one thing where you go. It's not like, Will Ferrell, well, go to Anchorman or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, there's no quintessential, like, moment for it. It's everything. It's body, like, and so many things were thrown around on social media, all these little bits, and usually I don't read it like that crap when people send, videos and like up the wazoo. Nobody has time for that shit. But in that case, I wanted to eat it up, and I probably saw like 20 different clips of him either doing stand-up or being a guest on a talk show, and that's where his brilliance was.
Oh, yeah, just so, and again, if you have time to check his podcast on YouTube, or I don't know if they're actually on an actual podcast site. I just remember seeing them on YouTube. They're so funny.
Yeah. You turned me on to the Netflix show. I remember you telling me about it. You're like, dude, you got to watch it. It was hilarious.
So funny. I remember I was traveling from Minneapolis all the way to Chicago and literally listened to Norm Macdonald's show back to back to back, like 8 hours straight. It was so good. It was so good because he had great comedians on there. I mean, Norm Macdonald and Dana Carvey together. Come on, dude.
Oh, my God.
Norm Macdonald and Jerry Seinfeld together. I mean, forget it, dude. It's like so goofy, funny, just crazy.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler, David Spade, his old SNL guys. I mean,
yeah, universally loved. Now, and I think the reason he was universally loved is because he was so anti-establishment. And when I say that, I mean, I should say management. Like, he didn't listen to bosses. He didn't change himself for the product. Like I said, he got fired from SNL, probably missed out on other opportunities. I mean, this is a guy who could have probably been a gazillionaire and, hit the jackpot, but he just didn't really, he seemed like a little almost lazy, which was part of the charm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just played by his own rules.
He did.
Which all the great ones did, though.
Yes. R.I.P. Norm Macdonald. You got two big fans here, and let me put a list together.
Thank you so much for joining us. We had a great time. For Mark Grody, I'm Brian Mitchell. This has been Let Me Put a List Together on the Podcast Entertainment Network.
Enjoying this podcast? Be sure to check out all the other PEN podcasts by visiting www.podcastentertainment.com.